Barbados, get up.
Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
Good morning to you on this Tuesday, November 5th. So good to have you in company. Welcome to another Morning Barbados presentation in the month of our independence, November. So you know we definitely are celebrating here in Barbados. We'll continue to update you throughout the morning about all of the wonderful things that are happening and the ways that we're celebrating throughout this month. Of course, coming up next week, we have the Remembrance Day Parade. That's next Sunday. Well, Sunday coming, the 10th. So you want to make sure that you get ready for that. That is, of course, going to be in National Hero Square. And I know lots of Barbadians make the trek out to be able to witness the pomp and ceremony that is the Remembrance Day Parade. But don't forget what it's all for. It's to honor our veterans who are still around and make sure that we show them that we care. So you want to make sure that you grab your poppies and so on as well as they go around. I don't have mine on today, but I'll be sure to wear mine from tomorrow. So coming up on today's show, we have quite a lot happening. I know that you've heard, unless you've been hiding under a rock, I know that you've heard that Fenty Beauty is now in Barbados. That's right. So we are going to have Rihanna's personal makeup artist. She is also the Fenty Beauty global makeup artist in with us this morning talking about, something brand new. It's a big launch coming up in collaboration with Essence and, of course, with duty-free Bridgetown as well. So we look forward to having her on the show today. Plus, as we continue to look forward to U.S. elections, we have Damian Blake, who is a professor in politics and the like in the U.S. in a South Carolina University, Elon University. He's going to be in to preview with us a little bit later. Plus, we're talking table tennis and a whole lot more. So we have a really packed show for you today. I'm hoping that you can stick around and share with us. But we want to get started with conversations on CARICOM. And we get so many calls every single week about all the things that Ambassador Comishong drops in to update us on and to keep us abreast of. So it's wonderful to have you with us always, Ambassador.
My pleasure, as usual, Tisha. It's good to know that people are paying attention.
Absolutely. So today we're taking a look at PM Montley's Debt for Climate Resilience swap. This, of course, was a big talking point as she attended the IMF and World Bank's meeting in Washington, D.C. in the last few weeks.
Yes, but I want to put that within the context of the Bridgetown initiative, because the debt for climate resilience swap that Barbados has just crafted is an example of the type of initiatives and projects that the Bridgetown initiative is advocating for. So we want to look at, since the Bridgetown initiative was launched in 2022, it was crafted here in Barbados, late July, early August 2022. And Barbados has taken responsibility for pushing it on the world scene. So we have been using every available opportunity, including the annual IMF and World Bank meetings, to push the Bridgetown initiative. So Prime Minister Motley would have been in Washington for the October IMF World Bank meetings, 21st to 26th October. And she would have used that occasion to unveil Barbados's latest debt for climate swap as an example of a Bridgetown initiative project.
Well, our Crystal Hoyt was in Washington, and she had an opportunity to sit down briefly with Prime Minister Motley.
Prime Minister Motley, you just announced Barbados' debt for climate conversion, which many describe as an innovative way to create that fiscal space for climate investment. Tell me, for the average Barbadian, what does this mean?
That without having to pay more money, we're going to get to upgrade the South Coast Sewage Treatment Plant, that we're going to be able to use that water to augment water resources that we already know are short in the country, and that we will also not only augment our underground water resources, but we're also going to be able to do irrigation for farms in St. Philip, because we're going to carry the water up there, and once it is non-leafy green vegetable agriculture, we can undertake that as well. And then finally, of course, by upgrading the treatment plant, which you know was the problem when we came to office with sewage on the street, that we're in a position also to protect our nearshore environment in a way that it was intended. When the first treatment plant was built, it was just about separating solids. This one is about actually treating the water to a higher level. So it's actually going to be a higher quality water that goes into the aquifers to replenish it than the one that we currently have now.
Tell me about the involvement of the private sector in this partnership, specifically CIBC.
We would have had to go to public tender, and a number of financial institutions globally tendered. Of course, I was very happy that CIBC Caribbean had a competitive price, and in fact, they had done the work, winning the tender previously on the debt for nature as well in 2022. So they're already in the space, but as you heard from them, if we didn't have the partnership of the IDB, and the European Investment Bank and the GCF, it would almost be impossible for them to be able to assist in this. One, because the risk would be too high, and two, the cost of capital, the cost of the money, the interest rates would be also too high. So we've literally broken new ground by being able to come and discuss with the Inter-American Development Bank. This is the first ever one the European Investment Bank is involved in. The Green Climate Fund has been working with us on a number of projects, as you know, and in this instance we're looking at both grant money as well as a concessional loan from them to make the whole project happen. It is likely that there will be also savings coming out of this, separate from what we use from the interest savings to build the South Coast Sewage Treatment Plant. It is likely that we will also get money for 5 years back to the Water Authority, and the amounts could be as small as 4 to 5 million or as high as 7 to 8 million, depending on when the structure of the project is completed. And without
Great job there from Crystal. Now from you, Ambassador, what type of reforms or commitment do we need through the Bridgetown initiative to be able to see this come to fruition?
Well, you know, at the center of the Bridgetown initiative, and at the center of Prime Minister Motley's international advocacy has been the phrase, you know, you need to see us, you need to hear us, and you need to feel us. And by us, she's referring to the developing countries of the world, the small island developing states like Barbados. And, this is our central argument, that this international system that was set up when we were still colonies was not designed really to truly deal with our problems and facilitate our development. And so we are calling for a revamping and a new philosophy to underpin that system. And this is an example, because what this project is doing is basically bringing a number of international partners on board. You heard them, the Inter-American Development Bank, the European Investment Bank, the Green Climate Fund, and then even a local institution like CIBC First Caribbean, to put together a project where they buy back some of Barbados's debt, and then having bought it back, then they refinance it at a lower interest rate. And so that the savings on interest, instead of Barbados then paying all this interest to some international bank, those savings on interest are now used by Barbados to do what? To redevelop our sewage plant, take it to a higher level, so that the problem we had back in 2018 when we had sewage running in the streets, we ensure that that never happens. And we create new sources of water for aquifers, for irrigation, and and as Prime Minister Motley says, we perhaps also generate funds that will go towards the Barbados Water Authority. So that is the kind of innovative thinking that if you, these big institutions, if you really focus on us and truly trying to find ways to help us solve the developmental problems that we have, it can be done. But there first has to be that will. You first have to see us and feel us, you know. And this is not the first time Barbados has done something like this, because 2 years ago, in 2022, we did the Debt for Nature swap, where we brought on board the Inter-American Development Bank, the Nature Conservancy, one of the biggest institutions that deals with the conservation of nature. And we were able to, you know, repurpose some of Barbados's debt and divert the payments into a scheme to protect 30% of our marine resources, you know, our coral reefs and our mangroves and our nearshore areas. So this is part of the bridge thinking behind the Bridgetown initiative. And incidentally, Tisha, this is now the third iteration, the third version of the Bridgetown initiative. And it is so pleasing to see that the Bridgetown initiative is really taking root. In fact, I think with the putting forward of the third iteration, we're in a position to actually list a whole number of victories, a whole number of, you know, achievements for the Bridgetown initiative. So, you know, we could go into that.
Absolutely. I know we saw a number of large institutions, world institutions there as well. But what are they saying about the Bridgetown initiative? These bigger institutions, other countries down the region, etc. What's being said about the entire initiative itself?
Well, I think the central argument has really taken hold, because if you listened, for example, to the opening address of the head of the IMF, they have accepted the argument that they have to upscale what they're doing. They have to do much more to facilitate developing countries. And they have to make their institutions more fit for purpose. They have to reform their governance structures to include more players from the developing world so that we are at the table when decisions are made. And in fact, she was very proud to say that the IMF is actually doing one of the demands of the Bridgetown Initiative, because one of the central demands of the Bridgetown Initiative is a revamping of the governance structures of institutions like the IMF to bring on board more decision makers from the global south. And she was very proud to announce that on the 1st of November, the IMF will be bringing on board a new director from sub-Saharan Africa. You know, so as I said, the Bridgetown Initiative, after 2 years, can boast of quite a few achievements. Even in addition, achievements related to the IMF. I mean, the Bridgetown Initiative was demanding that the IMF set up a resilience and sustainability trust, which was a new funding mechanism that would be much more accessible to low-income countries and middle-income countries that have to deal with the climate crisis. That was done. The Bridgetown Initiative was championing these debt pause clauses that Barbados had, along with Grenada. Well, I would say Grenada pioneered them, Barbados picked up on them, where you agree to put into all these debt instruments that if there's a natural disaster, we can pause the debt payments for 2 years so that the developing country faced with a disaster doesn't have to be thinking about making payments to international banks. You could focus on rebuilding. That has been accepted. The Bridgetown Initiative was lending its voice to the demand that the UN establish a loss and damage fund That was done at last year's COP. So, I can go through a whole list of things that the Bridgetown Initiative demanded, and basically we have seen these institutions responding positively to that demand. But
All right, we've been able to put a number of check marks. We're going to put a pause here for a moment. And when we come back, we continue our discussion on the strides the Bridgetown Initiative is making. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
6:21 on a beautiful Tuesday. We had some drizzles early this morning here in Barbados, but we absolutely love that. We're talking about the Bridgetown Initiative, and even in the context of drizzles, as we reflect on what this hurricane season has been for Barbados and the Caribbean so far, all of this speaks to the importance of this initiative and all of the check marks that we're able to mark off along the things that we've been able to accomplish alongside international institutions to get it going.
yes, and now you mentioned that. One of the new version of the Bridgetown Initiative is actually one of the demands it is making is that when a developing country is hit by one of these natural disasters, that these institutions should roll out the red carpet in terms of making credit available to help respond to the disaster. So a lot of the major demands have been accepted, but the new version of the initiative is calling for a ramping up because scale is important. Yes, you might agree to do something, but if you don't do it at the scale that it can truly make a difference, then you could be accused of just going through the motion. So, okay, so you agreed. We demanded that you set up the loss and damage fund. Yes, you set it up, but then you only pledged 700 million US, which is a far cry from the billions that is required. So the latest iteration of the initiative is calling for a serious ramping up of a number of the things that you have agreed to. But I want to focus one of the things that the Bridgetown, some of the successes centering on the IMF I want to refer to, because you remember Barbadians were crying out about the surcharges that the IMF was applying to the loans made to member states like Barbados. And when it became clear that we were having, because of these surcharges, we were paying out more in interest than we had anticipated. And the Bridgetown Initiative demanded that these surcharges be removed. Well, they haven't been removed, but they have been severely reduced. And that has led to savings of millions of dollars for Barbados. Also, we were saying to the IMF, these special drawing rights, the IMF has this special currency that it issues. They're called special drawing rights, and they're issued to member states. So we were saying some of these special drawing rights that you issue to these big wealthy countries, look, rechannel those special drawing rights so that they can be used to help. Instead of going to these big wealthy countries that don't need them, rechannel them towards multilateral development institutions, that they can be made available to make more resources available to developing countries. So that is being done. We had demanded that at least 100 billion, be rechanneled. That is being done. We also demanded through the Bridgetown initiative that there be a new issuance of special drawing rights. And the IMF director was proud to announce that the IMF board has agreed that there's going to be a 50%, a new issuance of 50%, an increase in the quota that will go to member states, including states like Barbados. So that's going to bolster, in a sense, our access to foreign exchange. So yes, Tisha, there are many achievements. The multi-dimensional vulnerability index the Bridgetown initiative was calling for, where we have been saying that you, IMF and World Bank, you look at this thing called GDP per capita, which is really a false kind of index where you look at all the value of all of the goods and services produced by a country in a year divided by the number of people, and you use that as the metric to work out who is a middle-income country, who is a low-income country, who is entitled to concessional financing or grants. And because of that metric, Barbados has generally been locked out of any access to grants and concessional financing. And we have been making the case, the Bridgetown initiative has been making the case that that is a wrong approach, that instead of looking at that, look instead at a multi-dimensional vulnerability index that looks at especially the country's vulnerability to climate, to things like hurricanes, for example, and use that instead as the criteria for determining which country should be given grants and concessional financing. And that has now been agreed in the UN system, and the Bridgetown initiative is insisting that that needs to be accepted right across the board in all of these financial institutions.
All right, well, congratulations. Many strides being made on the Bridgetown initiative, and we most certainly look forward to the level of commitment that we can see some actual change that redounds to the benefit of the Barbadian people. I want to step outside of that for a moment. It's election day in the U.S., and as ambassador to CARICOM for Barbados, it would be remiss of me to let you leave without getting your feel of what's happening in the U.S. election, and maybe sharing with us your projections for what you think might be the outcome in the coming weeks, because we know with their system of governance, it's not as clear-cut as necessarily calling outright winners, as has been the case in recent times, on the night of.
Well, since I'm a Barbados ambassador, I wouldn't want to go on the record as predicting winners and losers, because that wouldn't be right as a representative of the government. But it is clearly a very, very important election, and the American people and our people, our Caribbean people who are resident in the U.S. and entitled to vote, they need to think very carefully about the choice that they make. The issues that are at large, many of them have great significance for the immigrant populations, the migrant populations, including our own Caribbean immigrant populations within the U.S. For our African American brothers and sisters, we have seen references to Project 2025, for example, which if that were implemented, would be extremely destructive of a lot of the progress that black people and African American people have made over the years. So all of these factors the American population really needs to take into account and make sure that they cast their vote very wisely. Of course, I have my own preference, but I won't verbalize it. But I would just say that the issues are very clear, and Caribbean people in the U.S. Once they think carefully about the issues, I'm sure they will make the right choice.
All right, and I want to thank you for coming in today. Thanks for sharing on the off about the election today. And of course, it's pleasing to hear the strides that PM Motley and team are able to make on the international scene when it comes to the Bridgetown initiative. It's a very new initiative. So to gain momentum in this way in such a short space of time really says a lot about the ears they've been able to kind of engage to be heard.
Well, I think this is the uniqueness about it. It's not an initiative that just, stands on a soapbox and puts a set of demands out there. Rather, it is an initiative that is constantly evolving and is really based on engagement. And who better an engager than Prime Minister Motley, who seems to know virtually everybody in the world. And so they have been engaging with the leaders of all of these institutions and helping them to see our point of view and to take our point of view on board. And yes, it has made remarkable progress in just 2 years.
All right, if you can, grab a copy, read it, so we can have robust discussion on it. And I know with the discussions happening across the island, PM Motley is always open to hearing your opinions about where you think we can go. Thank you again, Ambassador.
Thank you, Tisha. It was my pleasure this morning.
I'll see you on the other end of this election.
Yes.
We most certainly will have much to discuss next week. All right, coming up next, we're talking road tennis. It's an annual road tennis competition that's coming up. Jackie Collis is in the building. That's next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, I'm peeking at the time. It's 26 minutes now before 7 o'clock. If it's one thing we love to hear about in Barbados is sports, even if we don't participate. I'm going to have to change that. I'm sorry for laughing, but I'm being honest. All right, so we're joined now by Jackie Collis, who is here with a Marbatana trophy and a pink ball. I know Jackie's going to tell us more. Jackie is president of the Garrison Historics Road Tennis Academy and Club and organizer of the Queen of the South Open Road Tennis Competition. It's good to have you back for another year.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Actually, this is last man standing this toss. So
right.
Queen of the South is like all female, and last man standing is the all male.
So why do you show up with the pink balls? I thought those were for the ladies.
Well, actually, that's it's a lilac though. Lilac.
We can argue colors, Jackie, but it's pink.
But that is one of the balls I use. Nadia is the person who surprised me, because when I was here earlier this year speaking on the Queen of the South, that was the ball that sponsored the tournament. That was the
So Nadia brought that out.
So that is Nadia bringing out her gift. I am very
Nadia
impressed.
is behind the scenes,
Yeah.
by the way. Yeah. So this one, it actually says Last Man Standing Challenge Trophy. So this is
Yes.
This is what people are going to win?
Yes.
All right.
And then there is a trophy that they actually get to keep, but this is the one that will continue to come back. As you can see, the winner from last year, his name obviously would have been the first person.
Mr. Holder.
Tyrese Holder.
All right. Tell us more about the competition.
Okay, Last Man Standing is an open road tennis tournament, and it will be hosted by the Garrison Historics. And we are located at the Town and Country Planning Car Park out by the Garrison. And the competition is on Sunday, November the 24th, sorry. It is one day. So we're going to start from 9 and we're going to run right through the evening. It's a round of 32. And already this registration is going very well. Road tennis people, you know, y'all very last minute. The spots are going. So you guys really, really need to get there. And this, again, is one of our initiatives for our at-risk kids program. It's the way of us raising funds so that we can continue our at-risk kids program. We launched it the 1st of September when we started our first anniversary as a registered club. That was one of the initiatives that we started, and it is going very well. The name of it is Snatch.
Okay.
And Snatch is actually an acronym for saving our neighborhood against crime while teaching our children there is hope. And the motto for Snatch is keeping them on court is keeping them out of court. So our pilot project started with about 5 kids, but currently we have about 9, 10. And that has been going very well. And that is why one of the main reasons I want to encourage persons to come out and support Last Man Standing. Yeah. Like I said, it's around the 32, and this year we made some changes. So last year it was like winner takes it all, right? And there's a little youngster that came second, so he didn't get anything. Girl, he bawled, he cried, he broke my heart, he bawled. So this year, good morning to you, Jelly Bean. I hope you're up.
Oh, did you make the boy shame on TV?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But he ain't gonna shame though. He just passionate about everything. So everybody knows he wears his heart out on his sleeve.
So Jelly Bean is back this year.
Well, I haven't seen him registered as yet. I know his brother is coming for sure, but hopefully we'll have him here this year. So the first prize is $1,000, and second prize is $500. We do have persons who continue continue to come on board. And Corporate Barbados, I would love to encourage you to continue to support us. Come out. We do need the help. So therefore, there will be little add-ons as we go on once we know what is going on. But that is first prize $1,000 and second prize $500.
All right, let's talk about the format of the tournament. You said it's a round of 32. What else can we expect?
I don't want to say too much yet, but it is going to be fun. It is definitely going to be fun, and they are going, I can tell you that there are guys who have already registered, some of them who hasn't registered as yet, but the practice sessions, their preparation has commenced. And even out in our home court, because this year, good morning to the membership and the executive, the planning committee of Garrison Historics, as they put stuff together. I know the members for sure who have put their hat in the ring. They have already started with a vigorous training to make sure that they are at least in the in the finals, semifinals, finals, and good luck to everybody. But we will be using the BRTA rules that will be applicable. The registration fee is $25 Barbados dollars, only $25 Barbados dollars. And something to note, the deadline for registration is the 15th of November. After that happens, then on the 17th of November, we will have the draw, which will tell us how the first round will go. All right? What persons need to know as well, Tyrese Holder, who is a champion, he will be back to defend.
So he's defending?
Yes. And a very pleasant good morning to Tyrese as yet. He's such an awesome individual.
Is there any age range, because you're targeting at-risk youth and so on, is there any age range for registration?
Well, the kids, this is one that the children would have to sit out. This is the adult competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the proceeds help go toward
the
snatch program.
The snatch program. Yes, it does.
All right.
All right. Right, so I told you about the deadline and everything, and the draw will happen on the 17th. There will be food and drinks, on sale. Now, on that note, I want to make something abundantly clear. There will be nobody else other than Garrison Historics who will be permitted to sell, to vend drinks. There's a young lady who normally comes and she deals with the food, but that is on an arrangement with us as well. This is a fundraising event, and our liquor license is for Garrison Historics. We don't need anybody competing with us. Like I said, it's very important that we do raise funds for the program. Purpose. So we're just asking persons to be cooperative, and not to make it an issue.
All right, no problem. So where do we register, or how do we register?
Okay, well, you have two contact persons. That is myself and my Vice President, Megan Grosvenor. Good morning to you, Megan. And you can reach Megan at 242-6722. And my number is 250-5822. Yes, and that is for business only. Yes, so you can contact us. And if it is that you would wish for us to send the form to you, a soft copy, we can do that too. Or you can come to our home courts at the Garrison any evening, and you can do your registering there as well.
Okay, wonderful stuff. Thank you for coming in, Jackie. It's all about keeping them on the court. It's keeping them out of court. I love that theme.
Yeah.
Neighborhood against crime while teaching our children there is hope.
Yes.
The snatch program.
Tisha, before we wrap up, I would just like to mention the sponsors who have come on board thus far. Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. Thank you guys so very much. Us getting together with Queen of the South, that made it a success, and I can't expect anything less from this session here. Trident Insurance, Signia Globe, AR25 Rackets, Safety Hospitality Supplies, Golden Sands Hotel, United Road Tennis Coaching Incorporated. They're out of Canada. That's a good Bajan guy, but he has been promoting and exposing Canadians to the game of road tennis, and he's been doing a lot of awesome work over there. He will be here, Stephen Rass Griffith. He'll be here a little later down in the month, so we will be able to, meet up with him. Dossie Painting Services, Barbados Olympic Association, even though it is not an Olympic sport as yet, they have been on board with us. Williams Equipment, and there are 4 friends of mine who jump on board to assist. That is David Pilgrim, Hank Lucas, Malcolm Smith, and Terrence Howell. Yes, so I want to say thank you to all of them for their contributions, you know, and we're hoping that this will come off in a big way, so then that we would be able to benefit the kids. Our beacons from Snatch will be able to benefit from it.
All right, wonderful stuff. I want to thank you for coming in, Jackie.
Well, thank you so very much for having me.
It's always good to see you.
Same here.
And I look forward for this Last Man Standing Challenge trophy to have another name etched there.
Yes.
The prizes, of course, a wonderful first prize, $1,000. And thanks to the Tears of Jelly Bean, the second prize now goes to $500. It's a shotgun format.
Yes.
Final match to be determined.
Yeah.
The reigning champion is Tyrese Holder, and
Yes,
he'll be
he is.
defending his title. So just $25 for registration, and you have up until November 15th
Yes.
to get in there with the action.
6 p.m. you do. Yeah, so you need to hurry, though, because the spaces are going. They are.
All right, so make sure you are a part of this, and we look forward to having you back with the winner.
Yes.
To be able to, maybe we can go outside and see a little demo. I'm not telling you that I will, or maybe I will.
Listen.
We'll see.
Who it was that challenged me? Who is somebody in here challenged me? So that might be something to
To
watch.
road tennis?
Uh-huh.
You'll get beat though, Jackie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Easily.
okay. Easily?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet you I surprise you.
Be careful what you wish for. All right, time for a break. We're quickly heading up to the 7 o'clock hour, just about 13 now before 7. Do stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited, and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hello and welcome to an extra special launch of NIFCA 2024. I'm your hostess, Paula Ann Jackman. The National Independence Festival of Creative Arts, NIFCA, is a time for Bajans to show off, but not from a place of wanton boast, but from a place of love and pride that is endemic to who we are. NIFCA 2024. And now, welcome Zizi Cumberbatch with her NIFCA Music Finals performance of Thank You for It All.
Times of victory and when I fall, I'm so grateful that I'm still standing tall. I thank you for my tears, and the pain helped me overcome my fears. It's a miracle that I'm still standing here. Oh, you've been good to me down throughout the years. 'Cause all that I am is because of all that you brought me through. And everything I've survived, it's all because of you. I thank you for it all, the good, bad, the ugly, great and small, the times of victory and when I fall. I'm so grateful that I'm still standing tall. I thank you for my tears, the pain helped me overcome my fears. Oh, you've been good to me down throughout the years, and it's a miracle that I'm still standing here. But all that I am is because of all that you brought me through, and everything I survived, it's all because of you. How can I say thank you for all the ways you made for me, the doors you've opened, the times you were there, always making a way for me.
And now, we've got an extra special performance of Emerton by MLVP Elite Vox. And this one is an award-winning arrangement by our very own Marlon Legal.
You tell me to forget that my grandmother was born right there, so alright, I say I shall go.
Tell me to forget, it is there I want my own children to grow. Alright, I say I shall go.
But I hope you understand how I feel about Emerton, my homeland, my homeland, my homeland. And I hope you know it's true that I will never forgive you, because look at what you do to my You tell me to forget that you uproot my people and scatter them to and fro. Alright, I say I shall go. You tell me to forget that you did the wrong things and didn't let my children know. Alright, I say I shall go. But I hope you understand how I feel about every time. My homeland, my homeland, my homeland. Oh, and I hope you know it's true that I will never forgive you. And you tell me to forget, and you tell me to forget,
And you tell me to forget.
Now, get some pen and paper. We saving the dates for NIFCA 2024. Get ready for the NIFCA Performing Arts Finals for Dance on Friday, November 1st at the Frank Coleman Hall at 6 p.m. And on Saturday, November 2nd, join us at the Queen's Park Steel Shed for the NIFCA Culinary Arts Exhibition and Food Fair starting at 10:30 a.m. And that night, meet us back at Frank Coleman Hall at 6 p.m. for the NIFCA Performing Arts Finals for Music. And the very next night, the NIFCA Performing Arts Finals for Theatre. And on November 4th, it's the NIFCA Juniors. So join us each night at 6 p.m. at the Frank Coleman Hall. The next weekend, it's the return of NIFCA Music in the Square. And join us on Sunday, November 10th for Lit Limes, the NIFCA edition at the Cricket Legends of Barbados. And that's 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And on the final NIFCA weekend, join us for the NIFCA film screenings, Friday, November 15th, Lower Bay Street, St. Michael, from 6 p.m. And on Saturday, November 16th, join us at the Queen's Park Steel Shed for the NIFCA Visual Arts Exhibition from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the grand finale on Sunday, November 17th at the Sir Garfield Sobers Gymnasium. It's the NIFCA Performing Arts Gala. I can't wait to see you there. And now, relive the moments of NIFCA 2023. It's the NIFCA Performing Arts Gala, Barbados.
Like a real picture, anywhere we go in the world, you can tell where it comes from. Ain't nothing in the world like a real picture, anywhere we go in the world, you can tell where it comes from.
This one for the children that raise up running about barefoot, foot full of nail jumps. Cause look good without no makeup, cross the road making everything break up. Cover sauce with the food with the flavor, we split cricket with the ball taper. The straight drive, beer swipes, the square cuts, and the mass to the men with the big nuts. You can pay your neighbor for a haircut, we's haircut goes when you wake up. Strictly 2, 4, 6, no vacation, proud to be one because there's a bitch.
Ain't nothing in the world like a real picture, anywhere we go in the world, you can tell where we come from. Ain't nothing in the world like a real picture, anywhere we go in the world.
We is all gathered here tonight. Yes. To praise the Lord.
Yeah, hallelujah.
And to raise an anthem in his holy name.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. We's gonna leave this veil of shame and narrow-mindedness.
Yes.
And to breathe again
the vivid air of God's blue fields and mountain tops. Amen. Let me get an amen.
Amen.
Because God tall, sistren and brethren.
Yes.
God is all we got to gamble with, sistren and brethren.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the Gem.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's just past 7 o'clock here in Morning Barbados. Time for us to give you an update of the news. Good morning, I'm Tisha Hines. Now, in our top story, the hierarchy of the Barbados Police Association is in full support of the government instituting a new retirement age. Word of this from President Inspector Wendley Carter. In another section of the media, Attorney General Dale Marshall stated government was considering allowing officers of the Barbados Police Service to retire before the national retirement age of 67. Inspector Carter explains before it came mandatory for officers to retire at 67, officers were allowed to retire at 55. However, they would have to have had accepted a reduced pension. Inspector Carter also expressed concerns over a vast exit of officers should the new age become a reality.
We supporting the early age of retirement. We just make a proposal to and the fire service and the prison service looking for the same thing too. So well, we had CDU sub, so we make a proposal and we discuss it with AG. It was discussed years now. Because even we had a meeting about 2 months ago, and that's one thing that we bring up with him.
BPS will now have to ensure succession planning to ensure the critical areas within the law enforcement agency are not left empty. Inspector Carter says recruitment will also need to play a critical part going forward, and a reservist system similar to that of the Barbados Defence Force will work.
If you could get people that come in to assist, we got some people that go home with a lot of talent, and they should be able to guide the people through the process. That might help cut up on the shortage. We've got a backlog of files, so we got people that they're going to be physically on the road, but they could come and help monitor files and peruse the files to get them off to the court. Files is one of the things that we got issues with, so then people could assist in that area.
Now, members of the Small Business Association are being cautioned not to click on any links contained in emails purporting to be from the SBA, asking for personal and financial information. SBA's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Lynette Holder, says while she does not know if there is any correlation between a recent government entity being hacked and this one, she says immediately after the latter incident, members started receiving emails. And she says the data protection legislation does not allow for the sharing of members' data to third-party individuals or institutions.
You see, I suspect that a recent data breach may have triggered this. As you know, one of our government departments that's involved in data collection, data mining, and the like, was reportedly breached. That's no secret. That was in the media. I believe the ministry responsible for that area spoke to it and so on. And immediately thereafter that, these messages have been sent out, and we're seeing a lot of spam activity.
Dr. Horther further says in this month's SBA webinar, scheduled for 2 weeks' time, they will be highlighting the need for cybersecurity and bringing a more comprehensive awareness to the membership.
And you ought not to be clicking on any links, any emails that you are unfamiliar with, and so on. We encourage members to please check and verify before they engage. And there's some cues that you can pay attention to. We're going to use our November webinar to address some of these issues of cybersecurity and cyber attacks, threats, etc. And hopefully this will help to continue the conversation and help with the sensitization that's needed at this time.
Millions of dollars, much of it in foreign exchange, is being pumped into the Barbados economy as a result of the medical schools operating here. That's according to Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, Sandra Husbands. She adds that several of such medical schools have notified authorities that they are preparing to ramp up their marketing strategies to increase student enrollment.
Quite a few of them have the capacity to do between 200 to 300 students. Ross, of course, is much bigger. They can do several more. And if each student, because of their living expenses, rent, food, transport, recreation, and their basic supplies, even if they're spending close to 2,000 or 3,000 Barbados dollars a month to be able to provide that, you can see that if you have a couple thousand students here, that there would be significant foreign exchange being earned by medical education, so that education can strengthen its presence as an economic sector for Barbados and not just a development center.
Minister Husbands was speaking after signing a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, between the Ireland-based Accreditation Commission of Colleges of Medicine and the Ministry of Education. The MOU allows for medical schools in Barbados to become accredited through the Accreditation Commission of the Colleges of Medicine. According to Ms. Husbands, the partnership coincides with government's move to make Barbados a hub for global education.
Therefore, the signing today with ACCM provides another such institution that can do the accreditation for the institutions that have set up here to offer medical education to students abroad. And in some cases, we've actually had a few Barbadian students who have taken advantage of their presence.
Well, I certainly hope you don't have tea without milk this morning, but the milk shortage in Barbados is limited to vanilla and evaporated milk. Word of this came from country head of the Pine Hill Dairy, Shafia London. She told CBC News there are delays, but the information making the rounds is distorted.
Our milk supply for white milk remain resilient. If we are distorting the two categories of milk, then I maybe could understand where that misunderstanding is coming from. There is white milk, which comes from the local dairy farm, which gives us the 2% and whole. And then there's vanilla and evaporated milk, which the formulation is different for those products, and those rely on imported materials.
Now, the dairy head admitted the industry remains challenged, but an empty shelf does not mean there's a shortage of milk, or at least so she says.
We are a small dairy, and there's a capacity limitation, but we are reintroducing evap and vanilla to the market because we know our consumers have missed them. So rather than being out of stock, I would say we are actually back in stock. And by the end of November, we should be back to normal levels of vanilla and evap milk in the market.
Now let's take a look at sports. As we reported yesterday, UWI Blackbirds and Kickstart Rush are moving on to the semi-finals of the Prime Minister's Football Cup after quarter-final victories over Wotton and Paradise, respectively. We have a Morning from CBC's Anmar Goodrich Boyce.
The thrills, the spills, the goals, the saves. All the action from the latest games in the Prime Minister's Cup. Here now are your Flow game highlights. Stay connected at home and on the go with Flow.
Quarter-final action in the Prime Minister's Cup at Friendship. First match featuring UA Blackbirds in black up against the Christchurch-based Wotton. 5 minutes on the clock, let the drama begin. Now Reece Stephen on his bike is in on goal. Big moment of the match. Referee John Griffith goes to the top pocket and Wotton are down to 10. Akeem Brown sent off, denying a clear and obvious goal-scoring opportunity and his advantage to UE. The Blackbirds then made good use of the numerical edge. 19 minutes on the clock, ball played forward, poor clearance. It drops to Romario Drates, nutmegs the keeper. UE 1, Wotton 0. Wotton, however, received some showers of blessings from above, and in the pouring rain found the equalizer. To Shane Lord to Darian King. Lovely flick, and Omani Liko adds the finishing touch. The 10 men of Wotton showing great resilience. 1-1 the score at halftime. UE Blackbirds also had a player sent off in the second half, so it was now 10v10 at the end of 90 minutes. Also into extra time. 117 minutes on the clock. A goal now is surely a winner. Retnico Marshall with a chance to grab the headlines, puts it over the crossbar, so it was penalties to decide the winner. Both teams started the shootout pretty well, converting their spot kicks. 3-2 the score now. To Shane Lord with a chance to level it up, but Shaquan Phillips denies him. UE keep the lead. Romario Drates now to put UE up 4-2. Keeper guessed the right way, but it's too much pace and power on that one. Up next was Warren's captain, Darian King. Has to score to keep his team alive and is denied. The King knocked off his throne by Phillips. Let the celebrations begin. UE Blackbirds flying into the semi-finals with a 4-3 win over Wotton on penalties. Second quarter-final match, Paradise versus Kickstart Rush. 37th minute, Jomo Harris picks out Jamal Watson-Cummins, who delivers this. An absolute beauty of a strike. Tremendous. The Dover-based boys up 1-0. 4 minutes later, the Rush looking to grab one back before the interval. Cross along the carpet is met by Raymar Walters. And how about that for a strike? Into the onion bag. And it's as you were. Paradise 1, Kickstart Rush 1. Second half now, a quarter of an hour to go. Both teams looking for a winner. Cross into the box. Drops to the man of the moment. Walters with an S on his chest. Heroic scenes. And that's how it ended. Kickstart Rush march into the semi-finals with a 2-1 win over Paradise. The quarterfinals continue on Sunday back at Friendship. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Those were your Flow game highlights. A review of the latest action from the Prime Minister's Cup. Stay connected at home and on the go with Flow.
And hey, we're going to have more sports coming your way. A brief update during our midday news at 12 noon here on CBC TV8. Of course, you can tune in for the full package of news and News Night tonight at 7 o'clock here on TV8. If you're on the move, tune into our radio stations, 94.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and Q100.7 FM for the CBC News World at 1. It's time for a break, but there's much more coming up. There's some politics. We're talking about all types of things. That's next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited, and the Cut and...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Well, we've been telling you all day it's election day in the U.S. today. We're pleased to have joining us on Morning Barbados at this time Dr. Damien Blake, who is an associate professor in the Department of Political Science and Policy Studies at Elon University. Mr. Blake holds, several accreditations, and he joins us this morning to look forward to the election. So he's just a little behind us on time, so we're pleased that he got up early to join us here in Barbados. Good morning to you, Damien. Wonderful to have you with us.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well, and I'm sure you are as well. This is your wheelhouse. This is your area of interest. This is where your work lies, but you're in the unique position of being a Caribbean person as well. So your thoughts on how the election has been run thus far?
Well, so far, the elections have been one where you're seeing a candidate, the former president of the United States, President Donald Trump, at the stumps for the third time, right? Remember, he was there in 2016, he was there in 2020 during the pandemic, and he's here again. So I guess three times the charm. You have for the first time a black female. It's not the first that you're having a female going up for the president in the United States, but this is also kind of an historic moment for Vice President Kamala Harris, with that unique position of being both a female and being a black female for the highest office in the United States. The early voting turnout rate is lower than it was last time around. I suspect that because of the pandemic, people sought to get out earlier last time around. It's lower this time, particularly for the Democrats, which is interesting. They have had this strategy of getting the votes out earlier for the past 5 or so elections. This time around, what we are recognizing is that the Republican Party has been able to drum up some kind of enthusiasm among its supporters. And so their early voting numbers are higher than that of the Democrats. So that's kind of interesting going into, today's election.
So as we look ahead to all that will happen today, based on your experience and what you've seen and the observations that you've laid out for us, what do you believe we can expect? I know in the past election cycles, we've seen results wear on for weeks even. So your thoughts on what might happen today based on what you shared about the switch in voter turnout and the like?
Well, the polls, there have been many polls, right? It's kind of a pollsters market here in the United States. And the polls indicate that the race between the two is very close across the country, but particularly in what they call these 7 battleground states. So Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Georgia, Nevada, and Arizona. I think that's 7, right? And so I expect that those are the states that we need to watch, particularly Pennsylvania, very important state, Pennsylvania and Georgia and North Carolina. The last time around, President Biden was able to flip those seats from Trump and kind of maintain what they call the blue wall, as Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. And he flipped Georgia and went out there in Arizona as well. Right now, in terms of the polls, it's neck and neck. It's a dead heat in the polls, and I scratched down some of the numbers here. It's a dead heat in Pennsylvania, very important state. In Pennsylvania, the votes that they can get from the Electoral College, because in the U.S., what you have is an Electoral College system where various different states give you different amounts of votes. And so in Pennsylvania, they're fighting for 19 electoral votes. So that's a very important state. That's one that we should watch. I suspect that we may get a result late tonight, early tomorrow. Pennsylvania has, they don't have the kinds of early voting trends there in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. So they're counting all the votes on today and the mail-in votes. So we may see a result get that pretty late tonight or even into tomorrow.
Now, I want to focus a little bit on the impact of social media, because we know that social media has really transformed political campaigning in recent years. So in your opinion, what role do you think platforms like Twitter and Facebook and TikTok have played in kind of shaping public perception and voter engagement during this 2024 election? We've been hearing much about AI and, how there's been feeling that that's been impacting the election as well.
Well, certainly the social media space is another platform, another theater in which people are engaging with the politics, particularly for the younger cohort of voters. That's where they get their news, right? People and in the younger age cohort, you're talking 18 through to 35, that they are consuming their news, they're consuming their information through the social media spaces. On one side, what the Republicans have done, particularly Donald Trump has done, has kind of given over some of the messaging to Elon Musk on X. So a lot of Republicans have been consuming their information about the election, the kinds of messages that the former president has for the economy around the border and security. They have been consuming that over social media spaces, particularly on X. The other thing about the social media space, that while it opens up a new theater for information gathering, it also creates another space for disinformation and misinformation. And so there have been reports coming in that there are external forces who are working on the elections in the United States, particularly from Russia and Iran. That's what some of the reports are saying, where disinformation about the two candidates is being jettisoned across those spaces. So it certainly is a game changer, a new and innovative space, but a space that has to be monitored and watched in terms of the kinds of information that people are getting from that space.
Now, it would be remiss of me not to mention electoral integrity and security, because this most certainly is a concern regarding electoral integrity and security that's been prevalent in recent years. So based on all that you've observed, how the race has been run, what's happening on the ground, you're based in the U.S., what are your thoughts on this? Throughout this campaign, we've heard about 2 attempts on former President Trump's life, for example. There have been numerous threats bolstered by social media, as we mentioned before. So share your thoughts from the perspective of a politics professor on the electoral integrity and security of this election, particularly on the heels of seeing ballot boxes being burned and things of that nature.
Yes, certainly. We have seen the ugly tentacles of electoral interference. A number of observers are anxious right now, because the anxiety is that will we see a peaceful transfer of power? Will we go back down the road of the January 6th kind of insurrection, right? So there is, in a number of states, and I think about 18 states, of which the 7 I just laid out to you, the 7 battleground states, the National Guard and the police are on standby now. They have been beefing up security with the expectation, if something happens after a winner has been announced, that there will be some kind of peace and normality. So we have seen the ugly tentacles of electoral integrity issues happening. We have seen the burning of ballot boxes in some states. In Georgia, for example, the question about poll watchers, right? People, the various political parties want to have their guys in and around the polling areas to be watching. Again, that is a kind of issue that brings up some of the integrity kinds of issues. In my state, I'm in North Carolina, one of the battleground states, there have been some changes in the election rules. So before, people didn't have to show up with a picture ID. Once you had your voter registration card or you were on the registration list, you could vote. Now you need to have ID. These were late changing rules. The same applies in Georgia. So we have been seeing these kinds of electoral integrity, electoral administrative glitches and problems happening. And part of it has to do with the depolarized state that the United States has found itself around its politics.
From your political perspective, what does it mean to have a country like this in the dead heat? So, literally split down the middle. Even beyond this election, I'm sure it will have far-reaching implications for the population, where you have half of the population backing one party or one faction and another half backing someone else.
Yes, the United States, considers itself to be one of the formidable and the countries that a bastion of democracy. And not only the U.S. considers itself so, but the rest of the world looks up to the United States in terms of an example of a strong liberal democracy. Now, having this kind of dead heat, this kind of very competitive election is, on one hand, a good thing. It speaks to the health of democracy. Democracies are about competition. It's about alternatives. But on the other hand, what we have recognized in the past 3 electoral cycles is the deep partisan divide that has gripped this country. The country is very polarized issues, particularly connected to immigration and immigrants, the border security, issues around reproductive health and rights. And even the question about who belongs in America, very, very polarized, very divided kind of country. So, going forward, the implications are that will the United States be able to pull it together and to pull back that kind of social cohesiveness, that kind of social capital, where people can work together to build a stronger nation. And now that has implications for the rest of the world, and particularly in our Caribbean backyard, our region as well. As we know, the US is one of the world's global superpowers. And so you're talking about a raging wars happening between Russia and Ukraine. We have a very unstable Middle East, particularly with Israel, Gaza, Lebanon, and Iran. And the U.S. is in the middle of that. The U.S. is being looked to for its support and guidance from some players within the Middle East, and also in Europe with its NATO partners. In the Caribbean space, we continue to look towards the United States when it comes on to things around regional security connected to drugs coming through our corridor, and guns coming from north, coming into the Caribbean space, which has created a lot of destabilization across the region in places like Haiti, for example, in Jamaica, etc. So these are things that are also riding on the elections from an international, beyond the U.S. Borders perspective. One candidate, former President Trump, has taken the stance of what he calls the America First. So I expect that if he is re-elected, that's going to be one of his main pillars, America First, which usually translates to a kind of America going into a cocoon, an isolationist kind of stance, and that you will find that, for example, in the Caribbean space, the issues that we are concerned about, regional security, climate change, that those will only be addressed in as much as they square with U.S. National interests. On the Democratic side, we may find a more broadening of those interests, as we have been seeing with the Biden administration. There's been some thawing of relations with Cuba, for example. There's been some expansion of issues connected to climate change and the ways in which climate change is affecting small island economies like Barbados, like Jamaica, in the region. So those are some of the kinds of things that are also riding on this election from the external kinds of perspectives.
Are you in a position to call it? Already, we're not there as yet, but are you willing?
It's a very, very, very close election. If I'm going by momentum, from what I am seeing on the ground here in North Carolina, the momentum is with the Harris camp. Donald Trump has been in the state for the past 5 days. He left, he came back, he left, he came back. And I think the Republicans, they made a early gaffe. They thought they had North Carolina in the bag, and something on the ground told them that it's not in the bag. It's a very important state for the Republicans. It's a pathway to 270 to win the presidency. And so if I'm going by momentum, there seems to be a wind of momentum with the Democratic Party. The recent rhetoric on the platform by the former president seems to also have been pushing a turn towards the left among what they call the late deciders in the United States. But if we're going by early votes, the Republicans have brought out their people, and they've brought out their numbers, and they're doing well in a number of the battleground states. Pennsylvania is very much tied, and Donald Trump is slightly ahead in Georgia and North Carolina. So to cut a long story short, it's very difficult to call, but the momentum, I would say, going into this final push is with the Democratic Party.
Definitely a politically correct answer, as I would expect from an associate producer in politics. Thank you so much, Damian Blake. We most certainly look forward to connecting with you post-election to talk about post-election scenarios, maybe looking beyond the election and some potential scenarios that could pop up as relates to the Caribbean and U.S. relations, beyond that, the Middle East and in other places of the world. So thank you so much for getting up early to share with us.
Certainly, no problem. I have my cup of coffee. Take good care.
That's always important. So Damian Blake also is an author. You can look forward to seeing him on Morning Barbados to talk a little bit more about his book, not necessarily on politics in this way. It's titled Don Dada. So you have an opportunity to go read it up so that next time Mr. Blake is on, we'll be able to have a great discussion around that particular book. His teaching areas are comparative politics and government, national security, politics of the Caribbean, introduction to international relations, and even the black man in America. So very grateful for his contribution this morning. Just about 28 minutes now before 8 o'clock. Do stay with us. There's much more coming up.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited, and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
We are here with a Vinci, a DJ Vinci, DJ Beds. Out here turning up the whole system for the night. We had a blast.
For sure, all the
Hey, thank you so much.
Valid.
My whole family enjoyed it.
So we've been telling you all morning about the fact how excited we are that Fenty Beauty is now available here in Barbados through Duty Free Caribbean, that partnership. And hopefully we'll be telling you more about that soon. But we encountered a young man who had a pretty interesting encounter with Rihanna herself, DJ Beds, a DJ from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And he's been a rising star in the Caribbean music scene for years. But now with this encounter with this global music icon, our national hero, Rihanna, it has seemingly taken his own career to another level. So good morning to you and welcome to Morning Barbados.
Good morning, Morning Barbados. Morning you.
It's wonderful to have you with us. First of all, tell us about this encounter that we just saw on screen.
Where to start? I was just doing my job and somebody heard me playing and recommended me play for this event. And I went there and just regularly do. And I guess Rihanna was just impressed about it after the party. She was just there and we was just, talking, and she gave me a little shout out. I think she was like, she knew it was close to Vinci, independent. She made out Vinci and everything for it, So, yeah.
So how have things changed since then? I mean, it's not a usual day that you're able to get a close encounter like that one.
Yeah, it was actually very surreal and amazing, It really should put me in a big light, People actually want to know who I am, coming in and, I just doing my best as usual,
Now, you've won a number of things.
Barbados.
Pardon?
Yeah,
Repeat
and just
that.
put my best foot forward. I was just telling you, I just keep putting my best foot forward.
That's important. Now, you've won the Hot 95 showcase and unofficially crowned #1 DJ by your UE supporters. Is that so? One of your big moments?
Yeah, last year on my birthday, or November 12th, I think it was, showcase with different islands, and I came out on top. And usually for like UE events and in the Gap or like certain places, I just really be the one who pull in the crowd, mashing up the place, whatever they want to call it. Play music for them, and usually it is be like and so I just be playing every kind of music from all the islands, and people really like that kind of mix, and keep it fun and jiggy and brawling, as they would say.
So what's the most interesting thing that has happened since you got this close encounter that we're talking about?
Well, this is actually the biggest thing that happened to me right now. I'm on Barbados TV. I've actually gotten a few interviews before in a different light now. I'm really grateful for it, and I just want to do the best, bring my energy out there. And I know people liking my energy too, because Vinci have their energy, and so it's all good. It's One Caribbean.
All right, so we know that you have some shortcomings with that Manchester City flag in the background. That's okay, we're going to overlook that. But, what are your hopes in moving forward as a DJ? Do you hope to make that a mainstream thing? Or, where are you going otherwise with your studies and so on?
Honestly, I've been playing since I got out of school, honestly. And this is what I've been doing. And when I met Rihanna and she big up my thing, I was like, yeah, I've been doing this for so much years, and this is the kind of confidence or pushing me to tell you, keep going, and you could reach different places if you keep doing what you love. of course. So just happy to continue, and I got the confidence, or more confidence to continue what I want to do. And really and truly, I just want to travel, go different places and meet different people and play music so that people could enjoy themselves and be happy,
What's one of the most interesting engagements, apart from being on Morning Barbados, that you've encountered since you've met Rihanna?
I would say it's just been the love that people showing that like Rihanna is a real inclusive. She would support if she likes the energy that she's getting and stuff like that. So I mean, I've just been getting more popular, I would say, more Instagram followers, gains. I don't know how to put it. It's now.
All right. Well, we wish you the very best on your newfound stardom. DJ Beds, pretty interesting name as well. And we look forward to seeing you playing going forward. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. Good
all
stuff.
The best. Bye, Barbados. See you on the weekend. This is my birthday weekend, and I have events Thursday, Friday, Saturday outside. So if you're a Scorpio, one love.
Well, happy birthday in advance, and we most certainly look forward to hearing more about the events and how they come off. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Barbados, again.
All right. So coming up, a masterclass with Priscilla. That's what we're talking about. Priscilla Ono, global makeup artist for Fenty Beauty, is here on Morning Barbados to tell us all about how you can get in on that action. Plus, Kay Richards, Innes, brand manager for Duty Free Caribbean, will be in the house. That's all next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So the time have moved on to just about 16 minutes to go before the 8 o'clock hour. And as promised, we told you we were excited to be able to have Priscilla Ono, who is the global makeup artist for Fenty Beauty, here with us this morning. And accompanying her, the beautiful Kay Richards, Innes, brand manager for Duty Free Caribbean. It's wonderful to have both of you here with us this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to be here.
Good morning. I had an opportunity to take in kind of the presentation of the Fenty Beauty brand through Duty Free Bridgetown a few weeks ago in store.
Yes.
And it was an interesting time, Kay.
Yeah.
You must be very, very excited to have the Fenty Beauty brand as an addition to the Duty Free Caribbean lineup.
Oh, yes. We've been working on it for a while. Our island manager and commercial director, Kathy Harris, would have been tirelessly asking when can we get it here in Barbados since 2017 when it's been launched, because our customers have been asking, obviously, you know, when is she coming home? Well, I'm happy to say that she's home. That Fenty Beauty is home. But yeah, it's been quite exciting. The in-store launch was fantastic. Barbadians really showed up for, you know, their girl Riri. They've been waiting for such a long time to be actually able to, you know, buy the products directly.
I haven't been so excited about seeing photos on your walls for a long, long time. And now we're even more pleased to have you here with us, Priscilla. I was kind of binge watching your Instagram page last night just to get a feel for who you are and what you do. So you've been with Rihanna for just about 8 years.
Almost 8 years,
Tell us a little bit about that relationship.
Well, I actually met Rihanna almost 15 years ago on the set of her music video, S&M. I was doing makeup for the background. She saw me on set and she's like, hey, I want you to be in this video. And I said, this one right now that we're shooting. So if you go back, I'm actually in that music video, which is kind of crazy. But we met then, and then we just became friends. And when she wanted to launch a brand, she reached out and asked if I wanted to try out to be the global artist. And I did, and I got the job. And ever since then, I've been working with the brand with development. I've been there since the beginning. So I know the products really, really well. And I'm excited for our masterclass because I want to share all of the insight of like Rihanna's thought process when it comes to her products. It's not just a name, it's a quality of product. And I want people to know how much quality and time Rihanna really puts in her products.
Absolutely. For this masterclass, I know that you would have taught masterclasses around the globe, but for this one, it must be special because after all, you're home.
Yeah, yes, I feel like I really am. I've been to Barbados many times with Rihanna, and I know how much everyone loves and how much everyone respects her and how much everyone loves these products. And it is very special, this masterclass, because I've actually learned a lot of makeup tips from Rihanna herself, and I'm excited to share that with everybody in the class.
All right, and I know that you've been giving people who have been supporting the brand an opportunity to be a part of this as well.
Yes, from the time we launched, customers were able to get entries for a raffle once they made a purchase of the masterclass or one of the masterclasses, because we do have 2 sessions on Wednesday coming up at the Crane Resort. So once they've made that purchase or they shopped the brand, they were able to drop their entry form in for a chance to win invitation to the private launch party.
Now you've announced 2 winners already. There's one more to be announced today.
That's
so
right.
Fingers still crossed for some people.
Still crossed.
Yes, and that will come in store.
Yes, we will do that one today in store. So they'll find out today if they are a lucky winner to attend that launch.
All right, so tell us what we need to do to be able to attend this masterclass with the master.
Okay, so your tickets are available at Bridgetown Duty Free Stores. That's our main store on Broad Street. Vista Worthing, Sunset Crest, or Sheraton Mall. They're $300 and redeemable in product. So you spend your $300, but you get that back. So pretty much it's free. It's going to be held at the Crane Resort on Wednesday. The first session is 11 to 1, and you register from 10 a.m. for that class. And then the evening session is from 3 to 5, and you register from 2. So you come, you can take advantage of the park and ride shuttle service that we're providing from Rice's Playing Field. You just, get there as early as you want to get there, park, get a nice relaxing ride into the resort, and enjoy the experience there with us.
Sounds like it's going to be an exciting experience. And you talked about being able to work with the brand, all the products throughout the years. Here in the Caribbean, it's a unique type of experience that I would imagine lots of people will be looking for, given the temperature and all of the other things. So I'm sure what you will teach, what you will share, will all tie into that.
Absolutely. And Rihanna's from the Caribbean, so actually a lot of her products are humidity resistant, waterproof, all day wear. So it's actually very, very fitting for the climate, which I'm excited to share at the class.
And of course, not to mention the names are a lot of fun as well.
Yes, Rihanna has everything to do with those names.
Yeah, for you, your favorites, what are your go-tos when it comes to maybe a morning like this, where you have to jump out of bed and look, I just woke up like this?
Oh, foundation. You need that foundation, especially to get that flawless, or like Rihanna says, that snatch look. And Pro Filter foundation is definitely my go-to, always.
Yeah, and for you, as a makeup artist first, a friend second, and now the ambassador or one of the ambassadors for the global brand, what do you want people to take away from your masterclass?
I just want them to understand the products a little bit better and to have fun. Rihanna intended makeup to be fun, to be able to play with it. And I just want to show people how they can have that fun with makeup. It's not so serious. At the end of the day, you can take it off.
All right, good stuff. And for you, your hopes in terms of takeaways from this particular masterclass, to have Barbadians introduced to the brand in this way. I know people have been importing, but to have it here on island will be a game changer.
Oh yes. So we started with Fenty Skin, because great skin produces great makeup looks, yeah? So we do have the Fenty Skin line. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But then, yeah, I mean, over 50 shades, come on now. I think that was the game changer for the industry, and they kind of smashed it there. So inclusivity, the brand is known for, so it's for any skin color. You can find your shade. Come to the store and get your shade match. You will find something that looks great on your skin. But for me personally, I have discovered the Invisimatte for, just blotting, and it's amazing in my opinion. I love the Hella Thick mascara. So
she knows her products.
I know, it's like the quality is what I'm most impressed about, the quality of the products, because you can get hooked, right? But I mean, just because it's Rihanna and it's home, but I'm telling you, the products are excellent.
Yeah, Rihanna has said throughout the years that inclusivity is definitely something that she has worked toward. She wants, all shades, all shapes, all people to feel included in the brands that she develops and represents. And I feel like with Fenty Beauty and the skincare products and so on, that's what's on offer. And that's what you'll be showcasing at this particular masterclass.
Absolutely. I want to make sure that everyone knows their true match, and I can share with them some tips and tricks on how to find that. And just like Kay said, we launched with 40 shades of foundation. Now we're up to 50. We have different types of foundation for different people that might need it for different reasons. We have full coverage foundation. We have tinted moisturizers that are unisex that anyone can use. So I just want to share all the different formulas and what's perfect for you, because I want everyone to feel seen for sure.
Now, of course, Kay told us about what she likes best. But, what are some of the most requested brands or products, brands from the products or titles, across the globe?
I think definitely foundation. Everybody wants flawless, beautiful skin, but skin that still looks like skin. And that's very important to Rihanna. So our foundations are very well known for having like full coverage, but your skin still looks like you, because at the end of the day, you're just trying to enhance your beauty. You're not trying to cover it up.
Absolutely. And there are always new beauty trends online, which is where we see much of the products and how you're engaging with the publics whom you serve. So I'm sure you'll be teaching some tips and tricks of the trade.
Absolutely. And like I said, even some tips that Rihanna has taught me herself, because she actually has many tips.
I see her online, you know, doing the
tutorials.
best.
Yeah.
Yes. And I mean, this is a steal of an opportunity, really.
Yes.
Because you're paying $300 for product. And this is the product you'll be able to use moving forward.
Yes, that's right.
So just
if you
$300.
Yeah, you purchase anytime in the store today. Well, you just have one more day now left. But yeah, you'll be able to select the products that you want to have. It's not like we're saying this is the $300 that you're getting back. So if you want foundation, if you're low on whatever, we know that Barbadians have been just waiting to just not have to travel to get the product and so forth. So yeah, it's been great. It's been really a great response.
Of course, set against the beautiful backdrop of the Wyndham Grand, Sam Lord's Castle as well.
No, we're at the Crane Resort.
Oh, at the Crane Resort.
Town Hall at the Crane Resort.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I love Crane as well. Just finished a staycation there at the residences.
Yes,
so
yes.
very, very, very beautiful.
Yes, it is a beautiful setting. So we're hoping to have a really exciting and fun time with the customers that have signed up. We're super, super excited. We're sure that Priscilla has so much knowledge to share, and they get the opportunity to interact with her directly. I mean, she's in her own right. She's a celebrity makeup artist, you know, and charges quite a pretty penny. So we have it here, the opportunity to pretty much have that opportunity to interact with her directly for free.
That's why I made sure that I got on the Instagram page. I'm getting a lot of free stuff on here as well from you. So what format will the presentation take? Kay mentioned something very important, to have your questions answered. So will there be a Q&A segment?
Definitely.
Talk to me about the format.
There'll be definitely a Q&A section. I'm going to be doing a demonstration. So I'm going to be actually showing you on a model live, like how the products are used. And again, speaking through them and formulas and just going in depth on everything in that application. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions on application and how they should put their foundation on, what tools they should use, how much they should use, contouring, how to do that. I'll be showing all of those things in the class.
That's beautiful. And Kay, I'm sure that you're going to be taking it all in as well. So when we see you on the sidelines looking like perfection.
Yes,
you know,
I mean,
we'll know why.
I've done a few YouTube videos, but to have Priscilla here live and in person, yes, I think that we should all take that opportunity to, you know, get from the experts how we should apply. I mean, we all try a little, as Barbadians say, try a little thing.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, for you, Priscilla, I know you talk a lot online, and we've seen you talking about how, you know, being an ambassador for this brand has really even changed your brand and your approach. So talk to us a little about that now.
You know, I think that working with the brand has really been an eye-opener for how much influence we can have on an industry. I think that before Fenty Beauty, there wasn't as much inclusivity, especially when it came to foundation and finding your shade. And for something to come so natural to Rihanna, and just for her to do it, not so much because she knew it was a good marketing thing, or she didn't think about that at all. She just knew in her heart, everyone should have their shade of foundation. She did it, and it made such an explosion in our industry that now a lot of brands are following suit and trying to keep up with that. And that just taught me that always be yourself, always do what's true to your heart. You follow your gut. And that's something that I've learned, again, from the brand and from Rihanna herself, because to me, that was probably one of the most authentic things that she's ever done, that actually everyone was like stunned for. And I'm very proud of it too.
Beautiful stuff. Inclusivity, it's revolutionary, it's something that belongs to us.
Yes.
And we're really pleased that you're here to tell us more about it. Good to have you here on this side of things, Priscilla, not necessarily behind the scenes, as you often are up front and teaching this masterclass. And congrats to Duty Free Caribbean for working with the brand to be able to bring it to our house.
Yes, we want to say thanks very much to Essence Corp. They're the ones that would have allowed us to have the brand here in Barbados. We're, travel retail, the brand is available, but on local market, that was not the case. So we were so happy. Of course, it had to be on local market here in Barbados because of, where she's from. But we're super excited and happy that they were able to partner with us to bring it through Fenty Corp and the LVMH group to Barbados.
All right, that's beautiful. Again, the masterclass is coming off on Wednesday. You have just one more day. If you've already gotten your products, you might be in for a win. 2 have been announced, 1 more to go today in store. So listen out for that and stick close. If you're on Broad Street, you might want to make sure you're there for the announcement of that name. But otherwise, go buy the product. So it's $300 to be a part of the masterclass, something you won't soon forget, and something that just might propel your own career or life somewhere else. After all, look at Priscilla after a chance meeting with Rihanna. I'm not saying that you might see somebody there. I wouldn't, but who knows? All right, so that's it for Morning Barbados today. We want to thank you so much for joining us. As always, we had a great time, and we're going to run off. But coming up tomorrow, we have some wonderful things happening. Of course, we talk HR with the Human Resources Management Association of Barbados, hot off the heels of their last conference, highly successful as well. We're talking World Travel Market with London, that was in London recently with the Minister of Tourism and International Transport, the Honourable Ian Gooding-Edgell, plus Consul General Lorenzo Harewood, who is Barbados Consul General to New York City. He's here in Barbados for that inaugural flight of American Airlines back to Bridgetown, and he's going to drop in on us tomorrow, plus lots of fun. So make sure you join us then. Have a good one today, and see you, God willing, tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up.